Good evening, and welcome to RPM. This is Premier Division. It's Thursday night, and we're here on the streets of Singapore. And we'll see where we pick up from last week's drama. We were out in another street circuit in Monaco where we saw absolute chaos unfold, to be fair. The championship was completely changed from that, with Colin maximising his points and a lot of his championship rivals at that point falling down by the wayside, either not finishing as high up as they would have liked or not finishing at all. So what that means for the championship is Colin is now, for the first time, sitting on a quite nice gap in the in first place. At the moment, he's 32 points clear of Volcano in the Haas, and then it's close behind Volcano with Jetfish and Brandon snapping at his heels. Shack Attack saying Merc 1-2 incoming. I like the prediction. You know, I always ask for predictions, so let's get them in early on. And there's Shack's. Is that 1-2 in the race, or 1-2 in qualifying, or just 1-2 in general? I thought I'd give you some facts, as I like to take everyone on a trip of the world as we go racing. Singapore has changed its time zone 6 times. If anyone caught First Division on Tuesday night, they would have seen me in pretty much a different time zone to everyone else on track. That's just more how slow I am. We've also got other people in chat here. Let me get the chat up. We've got Brian saying evening, let's go Yeast, and Robin saying you do know Colin is there. Well, Colin is there. He is. We'll get on board with him as he's on his first lap and see the master at work here on the medium tyres at the moment, and we'll see what he can do. Another fact for you here, even though it's one of the slower tracks on the calendar, with it being a street circuit, in Singapore they have the quickest pedestrians in the world at 6.15 kilometers an hour. Don't ask me how they measured this. I'm taking this random website off Google as absolutely Bible on this one. So yeah, we can expect not only to see fast pedestrians with some fast driving tonight, on board with currently the fastest driver in Premier Division. I will also just quickly run over the constructors whilst we watch Colin go round. So, with Colin taking maximum points last week and his rivals having a bit of a hiccup, we see Ferrari in first on 286 points, McLaren in behind on 237. Brandon will be looking to make amends. I know he had severe damage and had to retire in the pits last week. So we see Volcano get his pole taken away from him. 8 tenths slower than Colin at the moment as Giraffe crosses the line on a 139. We've got Mercedes only 2 points behind McLaren there, as I was saying, very close. Haas, who wasn't the best race for them last week, they started the season strong. Hopefully we can see them performing here. They are in 4th place, 40 points down on Mercedes. They'll be hoping to make some gains before the last few races of the season. Let's try and find some laps here. We'll follow Maggot for a bit. We've got AlphaTauri in 5th. Red Bull. I know Bakker was particularly gutted last week, having made it round the first corner very nicely, just not making it to the second corner. So he'll be hoping his race lasts longer than about 10 seconds tonight. We've got Richie in chat saying, go on Mercedes. No, of course not. He's saying Forza Ferrari. Ivor saying, good evening all, let's go Alpine. So we've got a Mercedes fan in here, we've got a Ferrari fan, we've got an Alpine. So we're getting at least a few different fans here. As Maggot crosses the line, puts himself 7th. A very competitive time, and it's starting to bunch up there. Evil out on the medium tyres. What can he do in the other Alfa Romeo? Got to watch he doesn't. I was going to say watch he doesn't cross that line, because you can invalidate there, and also watch out for the Alpine. Yeah, Richie, I thought I'd get you with that one. I really hope they put it on the highlights reel. But just stop of me saying Forza Ferrari, and people will be going, what's going on here? As Evil invalidates. So we've got Robin. He's got a bit of traffic, but he is not pushing at the moment. Mr. Bread saying, shush, Brian. Ooh. Kicking off. I think at the moment, unless Evil stayed out, did he do a lap? I mean, he did 1:37.8 on the mediums. Obviously, it's invalidated. He hasn't got ERS, so maybe he's not pushing this lap. But that is seriously quick on the mediums. So Evil Master's definitely got some pace here. We got the two McLarens, Brandon and Glassy. Glassy, after having a very, very good race last week, getting up to third after getting caught up in the early incident at, well, just outside of turn one. He's carrying on his form. And we will, well, we'll see if McLaren can take the race to Ferrari. They've got some points to make up now, and Brandon is only 2 tenths off Collins. We're definitely seeing a bit closer today than we did at Monaco. A lot of chat about making bread. Yeah, Richie's apparently whole grain. I reckon I'd be sourdough. The amount of rubbish I can get away with saying on here. We got Forza Ferrari again. Well, yeah, Brian, great point. Colin is on the mediums, yeah. But I think he was so far clear in Monaco, so I think we might hopefully see it a little bit closer tonight. Right, we've got some outlaps. We'll go on board with Volcano for his next flying lap. We've already shown Colin, so we'll see how the Haas gets on. Volcano has been in great form this season. It'd be nice to see him picking up some more points again tonight. Inner Organic saying good luck to the Williams boys and good luck to Higgsy too. Yeah, well, Higgsy, where is he at the moment? He's down in 15th, yet to set a lap, but he's on an out lap, so we'll keep an eye on how that goes. Giraffe and Entity, they're usually close to each other on the track, because they're usually trying to give each other a tow. I know they work well as teammates together, but also very close in position and time at the moment. Just a tenth separating them. A lot of Ferrari fans now. We got Wardy in supporting Ferrari as well. Well, first and sixth, it's a good start so far. And Collins tyres, which you won't see now if you're late checking in, those were set on the medium tyres. So he's definitely got more pace. Another one to watch out for, I think, is Evil Master, who was on for a very fast lap time on the mediums, but invalidated. As Volcano comes through the first few corners. With his DRS wide open, and now onto the brakes. He can carry a lot of speed through here actually, and he does exactly that. Doesn't invalidate into a very, very slow right-hander here. Gets nicely through there, very smooth, and he'll swing back over to the left now. Watch the wall on the exit, lovely. I guess it's good having Monaco the week before, because you really get to practice getting close to barriers and stuff, and he keeps it nice and tidy through here. Volcano looking very, very good on this lap. And here's a really slow one, get the traction out, lovely and smooth, opens the DRS, and then you're straight down here into another right-hander. You've got to watch the line on the exit, you can invalidate, maybe that's just me though. And then watch the curbs through here, they can throw you off. He'll get close to the barriers on the exit here, then into a slow, slow corner under the stadium. Out to the right, kiss the apex. Get your foot down, braking again, swing it back to the left, watch the wall on the outside, and this is looking very nice from Volcano. And across the line, and he puts himself up into second, 1:36.9, as we saw Colin put in a 1:35.7 on those soft tyres. So yeah, well, Brian, you've proved me wrong instantly, but we'll see what Brandon can do on his second run, who is starting his lap now. And it's going to be interesting again if we can have Brandon starting next to Colin on the front row, knowing that he had such a bit of a nightmare last week not getting any points, and it's really hindered his championship battle. Will he really try and be aggressive off the start? Obviously, if he can get second on the grid and take the race to Colin, maybe get his elbows out a little bit. We got Robin, who's put himself up into second. I believe he must be... Is he reserving? Because we usually have Fretty and Phil in the Alpines. Right, Brandon through the last few corners now. He'll swing the car to the left on the power as much as possible, opens to DRS and across the line and puts himself third. So that time from Robin has been a very, very good one. We've got Glassy going through sector 2. Up in fourth at the moment. A well-deserved result last week for Glassy getting on the podium. He doesn't tend to get much luck, but last week he really fought tooth and nail to come back from a early lap incident, and a well-deserved podium. Really enjoyed seeing him get that. And what can he do? Can he keep up this good form? It says in the top right of your screen now he's 2.3 down. Yeah, maybe he's not going for this lap, but you never know with this game. It can lie to you. But I'd imagine he's not going to get to the line in 13 seconds, so I don't think he's going to be troubling on this lap. I think we'll see him come off into the pits. Yeah, and we do. Maggot looks like he's had a moment. Right, we'll do this one for Richie. We've got Luke, who I think is down in that first sector, so we'll move on. We've got Jetfish, and he is on a flyer. He's a 10th up through that first sector, all over the curbs there, keeps it all together. Looks like he has a little bit of a moment, but didn't seem to drop him too much time. Gets close to the wall on the outside, but keeps it all together. A little bit of a moment again. You've got to be so careful on curbs on with the physics on this year's game. But he's opened his DRS and he's continuing on. Robin saying yes, he's reserving. Well, very good time there. Let's see what you can do tonight. And Jetfish now coming into the last few corners. He's currently fourth in the championship. He might be third. I might have forgotten that already. He's basically right next to Brandon, that's all I know. Sixth place for Jetfish. So, but as we know, the Mercedes, they tend to be very, very good off the starts. We've got Al down in 14th at the moment. Can he move himself up? He'll be a bit disappointed with that after his great race last week from 20th to 2nd. Was it in Monaco? And yeah, he's up to 9th. So Mercedes starting to get up there, but I don't think they're probably not going to have time for another lap here. So they might drop a lot if the track starts to ramp up. Andrew now starting a a flying lap, who got unlucky last week. He was having a very, very good race, and unfortunately contact put him out. Wardy saying one Aston driver, that's good for Ferrari in the constructors, and yeah, it is. I will take a quick look at the all gears constructors now, just to remind myself where everyone is. Yeah, and yeah, Aston will lose some ground there, but it's very tight between Aston, McLaren and Mercedes. Red Bull also not too far behind, but it's 16th and 13th at the moment. They'll need more than that to catch up. And Ferrari, yeah, 60 points ahead of McLaren in second. So very much as we see in the actual Premier Division and constructors, it's very much the usual suspects. As Andrew is over half a second up through the first two sectors. What can he do in his Alpha Tauri? Runs in a bit deep there. That's going to compromise this corner. Hopefully he'll be able to at least maintain what he's made up so far. It just looks like he's struggling a little bit more in that final sector. Obviously he had the pace in the first two, but where can he put himself? And he does improve up to 13th. So it's all getting very, very tight in that midfield. From 6th down to 13th there, just separated by 3 tenths. So that's very, very close. And then we've got the guys forming behind Colin, also close. We'll go and try and find a lap. We've got a lot of guys just about to start their flying lap. We've got Volcano here. What can he do? Can he improve? And another one to watch out for here actually is Evil Master, or just ETA Evil now. Again, we know he's got the pace, but can he just get it all together, not invalidate the lap? Where can he put himself? Spider-Man isn't going to have time to do a lap, I don't think, unless he's just crossed the line, which he has. He's literally left it to the very last second. Volcano might be getting a bit of a toe here as well. Yeah, Wardy's saying that's a close pack with the quali times. It really is, and I think it's not a bad prediction. It is so tight round here. Not quite as tight as Monaco, but a safety car, yeah, that could definitely happen. Hopefully, for the sake of the midfield pack, we don't see it quite as early as last race, but you never know. As Andrew retires from the session, and so does Maggot. Colin goes even faster, 1:35.4, unbelievable time. Can Volcano improve? He does by 2 tenths, but not quite enough to usurp Robin, who is 2 tenths down currently. Yeah, 35.4, Brian, you're seeing it right. It is absolutely incredible. I didn't even get through one lap here in qualifying, so the fact he did it in sub 3 minutes is pretty incredible to me. Glassy puts himself up to second, only to be leapfrogged by Brandon, and then as he crosses the line, we see the Alpine of Robin split the 2 McLarens. So we will have Colin from Brandon, from Robin from Glassy, Volcano in 5th. And you can see how tight it was behind Colin. 3 tenths between 2nd and 5th. And then behind them, Higgsy. Higgsy was in a little bit of a league of his own, but from Luke down, it is so, so tight. So we could see some very, very close racing, but the guy's going to have to be super, super patient around here. And imagine maybe we'll see a bit more patience than last week with that early safety car. I think Quinn and Beck will be a bit disappointed with that, but you see how tight it is. 2 tenths can make a massive difference in this division. As Wardy says, Colin is learning well from me and the Ferrari team. Yeah, I'm sure he'll, if we ever do the podium interviews, he'll be mentioning your name all over it. Or he just watches me and just does exactly the opposite of what I'm doing, because that seems to be working. A nice advertisement for DHL there. Lovely. Um, let's hope this race delivers better than DHL can. And when we get on the grid, we'll try and have a little look at the tyres. Not really sure what's going to, seems to be taking a long time. Inorganic saying ready for the first corner chaos. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, last week it wasn't first corner chaos. It was just outside the first corner. To be really pedantic about it, but yeah, I'm hoping they get away clean. If the gaps are too big, obviously, as viewers, we want to see the safety car close it up. I'm just hoping we can see some real tight racing tonight, some good moves, because it really does test your ability to get overtakes done around these street circuits. If chat's got any predictions based off the qualifying, please let me know. Oh, Wardy's saying DHL delivering my guitar tomorrow. Well, hopefully it's all going to be good. Right, so to run through the tyres, the two at the front on the front row of the grid on medium, second row of the grid, hard. And then we really do have a mixture of strategies. The guys at the back, more so than the guys at the front, opting for the hards. We've got Backer and Quinn splitting strategies, medium and a hard runner, so they're going to go a bit different. So expect Backer to have a little run at those guys in front. Inorganic saying Colin looks unstoppable. Yeah, he's really grabbed this championship by the scruff of its neck last week in Monaco, and he doesn't look like he wants to let that up. But will we see Brandon maybe really try and send it in the first lap and then just try and make his car as big as possible? Brandon needs to do something really. I know it's easy to say that, it's so hard to do anything with how quick Colin is, but you never know. We've seen these guys have great races in the past, and we'll see what Glassy and Robin can do as well. Glassy's in a very, very good form at the moment. Nice to see Volcano back up there. Hopefully he will avoid any incidents in the first lap. Higgsy also went under the radar there. I missed that completely, up in 6th. Very, very good qualifying from him. Luke down in 7th. The other Ferrari, we've got Jetfish in 8th and Al in 11th. They'll be slightly disappointed with that, but we know they are awfully, awfully quick off the start. Maggot, good qualifying in 9th in that very, very tight mid-pack, and he is on the hards as well. So he might come under pressure on the first laps or so, but we might see 8 to 10 laps in his strategy start to play out differently. We got Yeast, the only Aston, coming round to take his position on the grid. We got Entity in the Williams, and see what he can do as well. But I think it's all eyes on Colin and Brandon in this first corner. Will we see some fireworks? As we have 1 light, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's go. And Brandon does get a very, very, very good start, and he's going straight up the inside. And Colin's just gone across the runoff, and Brandon has spun, and he did go aggressive. It'd be nice to see that one again. I didn't have the best angle for it. I was trying to see as much as I could. Brandon rejoining just in front of the 2 Red Bulls, and he did get the inside line. Colin was forced off the track then as it goes back to the right, and a bit of contact as we see Evil out. And just looking out for the safety car, I think that's just a yellow flag. Don't know what happened to Evil there, and that's unfortunate for him. His race comes to an end early doors. Yeah, not really sure what exactly happened with Colin and Brandon. I didn't know if there was more contact. I'm sure we'll find out at some point, but Brandon ended up facing the wrong way, and it was, I mean, I'm sure you in chat were enjoying that for the brief moment it lasted, because it was exactly what we were kind of hoping to see. Colin getting a bit attacked into that first corner and put under pressure. As all that happens, Jetfish up to third from ninth. What a start. I said before, they usually make good starts. Got it wrong for Al. He's down in 15th, but he could have got caught up behind Brandon. But Jetfish really taking advantage of the little bit of a tussle and the mess at the start. Brandon now down in 11th. Hopefully got no damage. I don't think he did hit anyone. And we got Volcano and Yeast very close here as well. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3. That appears to be Andrew, who's had a moment. It looks as you go under the stadium, so maybe he locked up going into there and ran straight on. Yeah, we have got Yeast up 6 places. He's doing very, very well. And we've got Entity up 6 places. So he's had a great start, and he's right on the back of his teammate Giraffe. So what can he do? He's looking very competitive, and maybe we're seeing some drivers, they've got a nice little bit of race trim here, as we also see Backer and Quinn up 5 places and 3 places, and Spider-Man also making a very, very nice start there, up 4 places. And we'll just go and have a look what Brandon's up to, because Entity's been let through by Giraffe. And I wonder if Giraffe either has damage or... What tyres are they on here? I would have said maybe let Entity through because Entity was on mediums, but it's the other way around. So maybe he's got a bit of damage. But Brandon's now getting caught up in this tussle in the midfield. Giraffe just backing him up a little bit. Entity trying to get away here. We've also got Backer in behind this as an Alpine runs wide. Oh, I'm not really sure what happened now. It looks like a bit of a connection thing, and Backer does get past. And it's not going well for Brandon so far. Down 10 places at the moment as Colin puts in the fastest lap and he starts to stretch his legs. He's 3.3 seconds clear now. But all the fighting is currently here on track. And Backer, he'll be enjoying this. He gets to do some racing tonight. And the Red Bull is actually looking quite handy here. Sorry, I just had to have a brief pause there to take a sip of beer. And Backer, he's looking very, very racy at the moment. Let's hope he does not spin or anything, because I usually curse him when I'm on board with him. It's like the curse of the commentator. We've got a yellow flag. That's Andrew again, I believe, in sector 3. And you can see on your track map in the bottom corner there just how much Colin is getting away from the pack. And Robin under massive pressure from Jetfish as well. But you can see here it is so tight on track. Backer having to maybe get off the throttle a little bit there. And Entity now starting to pull a massive gap to these guys. 2.6 seconds up the road. I want a bit of contact between the Alpine and the Williams there. You've got to be careful you don't lose a bit of front wing. And this is really where all the battle's going on. We've got a bit of a train forming as Entity really escapes this battle. Back again, sending another dummy, but whilst that Alpine is in the slipstream of Giraffe, it's going to be hard to get that move done. And this might be the area where Backer's thinking at some point he might need to do an undercut here, because clearly he's looking very, very quick here. But as long as the Alpine's stuck behind the Williams, it's a bit of a domino effect. Backer's going around the outside, and that's very clean, gets it done. The Alpine had to go tighter to the corner than he would have liked, and that's Backer through. Brandon also taking advantage of that, covering the inside here though. Gets back on the racing line. And now, oh, he has a moment out of there, and he's just dropped back a little bit. And Brandon's got to be quite careful here, because obviously he spun up those tyres, so the temperatures on those tyres are going to be pretty hot. So he's got to be really careful. How do I finally get hired as even reserve? So you need to join RPM on Discord. You will then have to fill in a form. And once you've filled in the form, like the admins, they will kind of assign you, because the season's underway at the moment. For the duration of season 5 here, it will be just a chance to reserve, get a feel for the league, and then hopefully you'll get a race seat for next season. But basically all done through Discord. The admins are really helpful. So yeah, just hit the Discord up, and we'll hopefully see you on the racetrack. Right, Backer now getting very, very close to Giraffe here. Giraffe has helped Entity gap, and there goes Backer. He's got that move done. Got to watch it on those track limits on the outside, but now he is going hunting. He's going hunting for the other Williams. Yeah, Wardy saying need Luke to do one of his normal races and slowly creep up. Could be hard at Singapore though. Yeah, absolutely. We know Luke is one of those drivers who can go under the radar, but he is so consistent, and hopefully he can start to find his pace as we start to see the gaps here forming now. Backer dropping this by 1.6. Here comes Brandon having a look up the inside, gets it done nice and easy. And Giraffe, he must have a bit of damage, I think, here. Can we see it on his front wing? Looks okay there. Yeah, no, he looks okay. Maybe he's just really struggling for pace at the moment. But this is the cork in a bottle. Yeah, well, Brian is completely right with that. Yeah, I am an admin. I will look at the Discord after the race, and you can always message me on Discord, and I will help you out. Obviously, at the moment, I'm just purely focusing on the commentary, but after the race, I'll be sure to check my messages. Right, let's go see what's happening at the front. We haven't caught much of Glassy. Let's have a look what's happening here. Jetfish has dropped back a little bit from Robin, who has dropped back fairly hugely from Colin. I think we're finding something out about Colin on these street circuits. Not only is he absolutely rapid, as we all knew, but he seems even more imperious when it comes to street circuits. Right, Glassy in the DRS of Jetfish. He's going to be too far back here. Just going to have to be patient. I do believe he is on the different tyres though. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's on the hard tyres, Jetfish on the medium, so I think in a few laps we will start to see things change a little bit. Oh, and Glassy having a bit of a moment. We saw that a few times at Monaco. I did say to him after the race, I saw him sideways more than I saw him pointing in the right direction, but that's what I like about Glassy, proper on the limit driving. But very consistent too when he gets a bit of luck coming his way. Volcano not letting these guys go either. He's still sitting there. You got Yeast off the back of this. Higgsy, Entity has dropped back from this battle, and I tell you who is absolutely flying. Backer. He's took 3 seconds out of Entity in the last 2 laps. Absolutely flying. Sorry, I'm just, I know I went very silent there for a second. I was just having a good old look at the leaderboard here and trying to find the best battles. I think very soon it's going to be Entity and Backer, to be fair. Backer's catching him at such a rate of knots. And I think he's really, I mean, he's certainly got the racecraft here, Backer. He's got the race trim of this car set up absolutely bang on, because he is absolutely flying round. German Empire, where do I get a team Discord link? I don't know if anyone in chat can actually share the Discord, or I'm not actually the most technical, if I'm being totally honest, but if someone could maybe share it, because I'm currently just seeing the chat through my PlayStation, so I'm not actually on the Discord or in a position to actually copy the link. So if someone could do that, that'd be great. Right, Backer just 4 tenths behind as Yeast picks up a 3-second penalty, the first driver tonight to actually pick up a penalty, as we saw. And he does get past Entity very easily. It looked like Entity actually gave him a bit of room. Nice, fair racing. I know these two get on well, so... But maybe he'll come back at him under DRS. No, I think Entity's probably taken a bit more out of his tyres than Backer is at this stage. Oh, it's Entity. Yeah, maybe he has taken a lot out of his tyres. Watch out, Brandon. Brandon does get past. Entity now reversing, getting off the racing line. And... Oh, watch it there. It's a bit of a 3-point turn here. He'll be practicing all his driving skills. Oh, but has he beached it on the curb? I think he's beached it on the curb. And that's very unfortunate. As we know, we're not allowed to reset the track here. I would suggest that's maybe, in this case, a special case where he should be able to reset the track after being parked on the curb there. We don't want to see people going off track and then just resetting. It's not allowed, but maybe there when he's stuck completely on the curb, he should be allowed to. He does seem to have got moving now. I was going to say he was having a very good race, and he was. Parking manoeuvres, not totally sure on. Might need to go back to driving school on them. Not sure how he passed that part of his test. That 3-point turn was lacking, Mr. Entity, if you're watching that back. But hey-ho, back to the battles. As we got Glassy now, really, really close on Jetfish, just 2 tenths behind, and we're starting to see the tyres come in. The Jetfish still not dropping back massively from Robin. He's dropped back about half a second or so in the last 2 laps. I see Westy enjoyed Entity's little escapades there. And Glassy really now close in behind. Oh, Wesley saying trying to post Discord link, but YouTube keeps deleting it. I don't know if you're already in a Discord. I've seen someone asking about the team's Discord link. Everyone trying to be helpful. Very good RPM members. Love that. Yeah, I can... Ah, he's in. There we go. Okay, perfect. Well... Right, so... I'll now focus back on the commentary for a second. So, Glassy still not managing to find a way past Jetfish, as Jetfish now really starting to drop off the back of Robin. Volcano trying to come onto this fight here, and Yeast following him as well. Higgsy just sitting there, still hanging on in his own race a bit. And as you can see there, in 8th, Backer, he is quite a distance behind these guys. He's had to get through the traffic and maybe took a bit of life out of his tyres as well. And these guys also dragging each other along in the DRS zones. So we've also got Quinn on the back of Davey there on the hard tyres. But as you can see, apart from Robin and Glassy, who are doing brilliantly on the hard tyres, the kind of medium runners have kind of found themselves straight to the front, as you would expect, with that bit of extra pace on those tyres, bit of extra grip. They're able to push a little bit more. But this is where the strategy is going to change. How many will Colin lap, says Wardy? Well, he lapped up to 3rd last week, was it? Or 4th? Or maybe it was even 2nd. You can tell my memory's not the best because I was the one watching it. Either saying 7th he'll get up to. Well, how many has he lapped so far? Has he lapped anyone yet? Yeah, Brian makes a good point. It is a huge lap. You're saying 12 to 20. Well, yeah, he's. I think he mustn't be that far. No, he hasn't lapped anyone yet. He's coming up to Andrew, but he is still quite a few corners behind. Luke has also pitted in the last few laps. He's now 2 laps into, or 3 laps as he's crossed the line, just into his hard tyres. So maybe Luke can start to get something going. He'll have a bit of free air to push in, and he's not too far behind the 2 Williams, but maybe Entity will be thinking about getting out of Giraffe's way. Giraffe has pitted and he's a second down on Entity now after Entity's little moment. But Jetfish still hanging on to these mediums. Brian, I've seen your message and I'm going to say it anyway. Groningen are 3-0 down. Absolutely terrible season they're having. At least Backer's having a good race though. That's some consolation for him. Volcano has pitted and he will be going on to the hard tyres here. Let's see where he comes out. Al will get past. Davey and Quinn will also get past. He'll probably come out pretty comfortably ahead of Maggot here. And he is the first one to blink out of the front runners at the moment. He'll need to get those absolutely fired up and hopefully undercut the other drivers for his strategy. He should be pretty comfortable on them to the end. And we've got Quinn now having a look at Davey. Going wheel to wheel, later on the brakes, gets it tucked in nicely, nice and neat, and he's passed. So here goes Quinn, finding a nice bit of pace, and it's looking much better for the Red Bull drivers here in the race. I'm sure Westy will be happy about that in chat. Let's say he's less optimistic about Groningen's chances. He reckons relegation. I think we're probably the only YouTube channel covering F1 Esports that actually talks about FC Groningen. But there we go. And Glassy still stuck behind Jetfish here, and he'll be desperate to get the move done at some point. with Robin up the road as Jetfish pits, so that's freed Glassy up, and now what can he do? Get his foot down, try and get away. And I think have we seen Yeast pit there? No. Right, so what battles have we got on track at the moment? We'll see where... Oh, we got Backer in the pits as well. We got Brandon in the pits. Still, Brandon, he's managed to get a few comfortable laps in there. He can still recover this, get some points, but it looks like Colin again is going to be taking advantage of this. Oh, as Jetfish really struggles with the exit of the pits. I can't say too much. I did exactly the same not yesterday, on Tuesday. So, Jetfish, he was on the medium tyres, so it's always going to be like an undercut for him. Means he's on the hards to the end. He can maybe... I bet he was hoping for a bit more fresh air than this to get some laps in. The thing to bear in mind, though, is Glassy has the medium tyres at the end of the race, so he will be much quicker. As you can see, Jetfish looks like he's just struggling to get them up to temperature a little bit. But he's gonna... The problem for Jetfish here is he's gonna get caught in some traffic here with the other hard runners. Glassy won't get caught in that traffic because he'll be likely pitting around the same lap as these guys, but obviously much further up the road. But Quinn now up into 7th as well. We've got Al, Higgsy and Yeast, who I imagine will be pitting very soon. Colin has pitted. Oh, as Quinn has a bit of a moment there. And Davy's now right on the back of him. Oh, so tight through there. As, yeah, Yeast, Higgsy, Al. No, Al stayed out, has he? Let's have a look. Yeah, Al stays out. Yeast and Higgsy pitting. No, Colin come out in 3rd. And... Oh, Yeast and Quinn going to be close here. Yeast sticking to the left, and yeah, they're through. Oh, what a big moment for Yeast on the cold tyres. Just trying to get the throttle down. A little bit too trigger happy out of there. Just get those tyres in the window, and he'll be flying again. We've got a yellow in sector 3, and that's a Ferrari. And that's Luke. So Luke's had a moment. Now, what can Colin do? The guys in front will be staying out longer. Will there be any team orders with Glassy and Brandon? I imagine not, the way Glassy's racing at the moment. He wants the podium, but maybe he won't make it too easy for Colin to get past if he catches. And Colin just getting them into the window at the moment, not really taking too much time out of Glassy at the moment, but he is on completely fresh tyres. And just to point out, anyone watching, I'm sure you've noticed, Al, he did it in Monaco as well, starting quite low down. And he's done it again here. He's made some very good progress, kept it nice and clean there, and he's into pits. I know he's had some issues this season. He had a qualifying ban just last week, hence him starting 20th in the race at Monaco, but he's driven very maturely these last 2 races. Wardy's saying Luke went early to the hards. Yeah, he did. Wonder if he doesn't like the mediums. Yeah, it's quite a strange one for Luke because he got himself 7th in qualifying and was looking pretty handy. And usually then he just gets down to business. Whether he had issues with any incidents, I don't know. We didn't quite catch anything, but yeah, quite an unusual one to see Luke so low down. But you never know, if anyone's going to get a good recovery, it could easily be him. Right, Yeast now really trying to get a move done on Volcano. He's got a 3-second penalty though, so we could do with clearing him and dropping him. I tell you what, Colin has got his tyres into the window. Look at that. He's took 3 seconds out of the leaders on that lap. As we see Robin pitting, Colin does the fastest lap at 1:40.2. And now just 4.6 seconds off Glassy in the McLaren. Brandon in the pits again. Completely missed that inorganic. What happened to Brandon? He must have had some damage or something. And great spot there. Thank you for that inorganic. We should get you on the TV director role. As we see, Yeast still right on the back of Volcano. He's got 2 lap fresher tyres. And nothing doing at the moment, but he will have a helping of DRS here, but he'll be too far back, I imagine. As Quinn picks up a 3-second penalty. It's very easy to do round here. And Aston getting very close to the wall there. It's all moving in the right direction. And I think the next one to look out for as well is Bakker is catching Davey and Quinn at a fast rate of knots again. After all the pit stops though, Bakker was about 9.6 seconds behind the top 6 before. He will be about 8.4, so the pit stops have served him well. Okay, he's only made up just shy of 2 seconds, but there's some penalties ahead as well. So his race is going very well, and that's nice to see after last week's absolute disaster in Monaco. And Volcano also, he'll be happy. He got caught up in that first lap incident, and it's nice to see him back and racing very well. 2 seconds off Jetfish at the moment, and Jetfish is 25 seconds away from Glassy. So I think Glassy was right on the cusp of getting that overcut done. But can he keep hold of the tyres? Because Jetfish is on much fresher tyres. So you'd imagine his lap times are going to be quicker at the moment. So maybe we'll see Glassy pit soon. But it's going to be very, very tight between those two. It'll be a bit of nip and tuck on the pit exit. Inorganic saying, Robin Gonner, yeah, well, he's got to do 14 laps on those mediums. We've got Andrews done 14 laps on the mediums. He's had some issues himself. But looking at it, the others did about 13 laps. So he's going to take them right to the end of their life. The one thing he's got in his advantage is he will be on lower fuel loads. So theoretically, he'll be a bit better on his tyres. And here comes Yeast. Oh, he's having a look. Oh, no, if he'd just managed to get out of it, he nearly locked up and hit that back wheel. And it's getting really tight here. But they're still not getting dropped by Jetfish. Even with this fighting, the gap remains around 1.9. Ivor saying yesterday a driver makes it 17 laps on mediums, 56%. Yeah, well it shows. And as Robin puts in the fastest lap of the race, a 1:39.4. That's 8 tenths faster than what Colin's managed. Although Colin is on those hard tyres. Glassy in the pits. And will he come out in front of Jetfish? It's going to be very, very tight. Jetfish just gets ahead. But Glassy is going to be very, very dangerous on these medium tyres. So that's all to play for. We've got Volcano, who not too far behind the undercut. Nearly very much worked for Yeast and Volcano. So it was, as you can see, right on the cusp for Glassy of either getting the overcut done or really losing out to the undercut. That's how tight that was. A lot of people in chat saying a lot of people did a lot of laps on the mediums. Some people finishing in the podium on it. Well, that's why I enjoy having you guys in the chat, because as you know, if you've ever watched Prem Division before and I've been commentating, I theorise a lot about things and pretty much get it all wrong. I did say that Brandon would have a go at Colin in the first corner. I got that right. I didn't quite envisage Brandon spinning though. So that's the one thing I've managed to get right tonight, whereas everything else not so much. So it is very helpful having you guys there to point me in the right direction, as Yeast nearly ends up pointing in the wrong direction, and he lost a lot of time there. Backer also taking 9 tenths out of him behind. Glassy through on Jetfish. Oh, I've missed that. And yeah, that's Glassy free, and Glassy is going to be fast now. He'll be just looking to absolutely check out here. We'll stay on board for a bit longer. Maybe Jetfish will try and get the move straight back, but it's going to be difficult. He's got a lot of power down here though. Glassy covers the inside and breaks later. And I think Jetfish, you can see he wants to get this pass done, because the longer it goes on, the more those mediums are going to have an advantage. And obviously in the constructors, it really matters that Glassy gets a good finish here, with Brandon currently outside the points in RPM. Obviously we do points down to 15th, so 16th is not enough for Brandon. 17.1 seconds behind Luke currently, who has found his way back into the points, and he's chasing down the Williams. And you can see there, Glassy is really showing us the pace advantage in the mediums. Wardy's saying, come on Luke. Yeah, well, this is classic from Luke. When I look away from him for a few seconds, he starts making up positions. Right, we'll go and have a look what's going on with Yeast and Volcano. That battle has been going on for quite a few laps now. Well, I've just noticed as well, Higgsy is 8 seconds behind Backer now. So I don't know what happened there, because Higgsy was kind of in a race of his own in 7th. Backer quite a few seconds behind in 8th. And all of a sudden they've switched around and Backer's got a big gap to him, so I'm not sure what's happened with Higgsy there. It does look like he pitted a little bit later than everyone, so maybe he just took his medium tyres a little bit too far. Maggot also in 10th, 18 laps on those hard tyres. We'll go have a little look at how he's getting on, because he's going to come under pressure as he pits. Well, there you go. Colin has lapped a few people already. We'll go on board with Luke for a second. I'm not so sure. Yeah, he's lapped Andrew. If you see in the bottom right of the screen, he's just going above the number 3. He is closing on Spider-Man in 17th, but yeah, it's obviously last week he lapped a lot of cars as well, because that first lap incident happened right behind him, and obviously everyone had to slow right down and got caught in it, and there was no safety cars at Monaco, so he was able to get a huge gap on the first lap. Oh, and a bit of mistletoe on the top of Luke's head here. Maybe he's ready for Christmas next year, or celebrating a late Christmas this year. I don't know, I was trying to get a better look on his helmet here. I know I've got very distracted from the racing for a second here, but is it a Christmas pudding? As he dives to the outside, he's given room, nice and clean there. And lovely overtake from Luke, and here he goes up to 13th now. Brandon now back into the points. He'll get 1 point if he finishes 15th, which could be vital come the end of the season. It was last season with Colin going into the last race where they were separated by very, very few points. I think Colin, unfortunately, is getting a bit out of sight now in the championship for Brandon and the likes of Jetfish. And also Volcano, don't forget Volcano, he's actually second in the championship at the moment. with a lot of consistency, just a few unlucky races recently. Brian saying Groningen back with 2 goals to 3. Hopefully it's not like a yin and yang thing then with Becker and he starts doing worse if Groningen start doing better. Because he's going very, very well at the moment. We got a yellow flag. I think that is Andrew, who is in the wall. Luckily, he's got a bit of time to get back round, but I think he's lost his whole front wing there. And it's such a shame for Andrew. Well, he's lost a bit of the front wing. It's going to be horrible to drive with, though, at the moment. And yeah, he was having such a good race in Monaco, and he got, unfortunately, hit. Oh, no. And he's got on the curb there. I'll leave Andrew to it. Just occurs to the commentator a bit. Yeah, unfortunate for Andrew because he was doing so well in Monaco last week. Got hit and lost potentially a very good result. It's just not gone his way tonight. Sometimes when it rains, it pours. And we've still got this battle here. Jetfish only 1.8 seconds up the road. Glassy's checked out from this, and he's actually catching Robin at a serious pace of knots. So Glassy might still be able to get second. It's probably a bit too far off, but you never know. Maybe Robin took too much life out of his tyres going for that fastest lap. But Yeast and Volcano, they'll be sick of the sight of each other by the end of this race. But they are also dropping Backer, who is getting caught, but ever so slightly, by Higgsy. Higgsy taking a tenth or so out of him a lap at the moment. And we'll see what else we got going on, see if we can catch some other battles, because maybe it's because commentator again, as soon as I switched off a battle last week, the overtake got done and we saw it with Jetfish and Glassy already tonight, but I can't help but take the risk. Try and give everyone a bit of airtime. We got Luke and Giraffe. So he's got past Entity already. He's trying to get back past Giraffe and up into 12th. And then he'll be one place behind his brother, but on worse tyres and a bit too far back. So unless there's a safety car, I think Luke will just be hoping he can get 12th and get some points. And the Ferrari team will be very pleased with that, because with Colin taking 40 points here, those few extra just puts even more distance between the likes of McLaren, Mercedes, Aston Martin and Haas. But a good showing actually for Red Bull tonight. After starting down in 17th and 18th, they're up to 7th and 11th, so they are going well. Al actually, he's up into 9th, and it seems to be closing a bit on Higgsy, so he's having a good little race. And Luke, you can see with 6 tenths off his personal best here, so you can see not quite able to push on these hard tyres as much, and Giraffe's on very, very similar tyres. We know Giraffe's good at defending, puts his car nicely in positions on the track, and Luke really burning the ERS. Giraffe not really worried on the ERS, but he's very, very close this time. He could have done with being about a tenth or half a tenth closer coming off that corner. It will go another lap. Oh, and as we see, I don't know what's happened in front, but Volcano has dropped right off the back of... sorry, I said that Yeast has dropped off the back of Volcano. Now out of DRS, he's lost about 7 tenths in the last lap. That's a bit surprising as he's on slightly fresher tyres. Oh, and Davey's out. So what's happened here? We'll go on board with Giraffe because he's the next person to pass where the incident's happened. And I'll keep my eyes peeled for this. And now, yeah, he's just lost it on the exit. And we've got a safety car. And I'm not going to lie, the gaps were getting bigger. I'm very happy about it. It is a spicy safety car, Brian. I'm happy about that. It's going to be a soft tyre sprint to the end here. We're going to have about 5-6 laps of it. And I'm all for it. Al's pitted, he's on the softs, Higgsy's pitted. So, the other thing is here, depends where you are on the track. It's quite a long track. People are in very different spaces. And some people are able to dive in. We might see a bit of a shuffling of the pack here. Backer had clearly already gone past. Yeah, he was... Backer might get caught out by this. Yeah, shame for David. He was going quite nicely. Right, so Higgsy and Al are let past the safety car. I'm not sure if they have a delta here. You probably tell me better in chat. I think they do have a delta, so they can't fully push, but you never know what can happen. Brandon will be absolutely ecstatic with the fact that there is a safety car, but somewhat surprisingly, he's put on 12 lap old mediums. I can only think that he didn't get his tyre change done before he came into the pit, so he might pit again here. And that's going to put him out of position and promote Entity past him, unless Entity already also on the mediums. Bit confused with what's going on here, because you're going to have a lap or two on, well, behind the safety car. Yeah, Inorganic saying Higsy. I thought we'd see more going to softs, to be honest, but the medium's not a bad racing tyre. I'm going to use this little safety car period just to get myself another drink. I will be back in a moment. If you can drop me a message in chat if I miss anything important, but I'm sure I'll be back in time. So, yeah, Brian saying one lap freshest softs is huge round here. Yeah, well, that's what some of them have done. Glassy opted for the mediums. He's going to come under pressure from Jetfish. We're going to see a bit of role reversal there. Jetfish 20 seconds behind here. Maybe having a little gap for himself. I mean, really, he shouldn't be too far behind in safety car. Higsy picks up a 5-second penalty in the pit lane for speeding. He must be one of the pedestrians of Singapore then. The most quickest of pedestrians in the world. Yeah, Jetfish might be trying to time this so we can get his tyres a better temperature than the leaders, who are obviously stuck behind that safety car going at I would say a very slow pace. The safety car's going at a decent pace, but obviously it's very, very slow for these cars. Spider-Man picks up a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. Higsy DNF. So what's happened here? He's not lost it on the exit, has he? We'll stay on board with Brandon. No, we'll go on board with Spider-Man, who's going to come out of the pit exit any moment. And see if we can see what's happened here. So what has happened here? Well, they've cleared the car out of the way, apparently. I think you might have dropped it on the exit, Higsy. Westy saying he thinks Jetfish keeping a safety car out as long as possible to save tyre wear. Maybe. But sometimes the safety car does just go, even if the field isn't bunched up, so you never know. Maybe he's trying to get a rolling start more than the other guys. Well, all to play for. We got a bit of excitement we wanted. I'm glad there was not a safety car earlier. Glad everyone's managed to navigate the race. But now we could see some absolute fireworks, not just at the checkered flag. Yeah, that'd be great in organic if you could find out what happened to Iggsy. Didn't catch it, and they moved his car, so I couldn't see if it was damage. I assume it was. It looked like it was just out of the pit exit. But here we go. We got only two drivers on the mediums. That's Glassy and Maggot. They can't really pit now because they will just lose out massively, probably down to 11th at least. Luke also pitting. So the driver's really thinking about this. Luke with the Christmas pudding on his head. The driver's really thinking about this. They are really trying to have the freshest tyres possible. Maggot hasn't got that at all. He's got mediums and 7 laps old, so he's going to struggle. Yeah, and inorganic, thanks for confirming that. Yeah, Higgsy unfortunately spun on the pit exit, and that was the end of his race. But let's see what's going on. Brian saying really smart to pit again. Yeah, I agree. I mean, obviously you're going at a slower pace on the soft tyres, so you don't put as much wear through them. But in a sprint like this to the end, you never know what can happen, and we could see some incidents and stuff. Any advantage you can get, and as you see in qualifying with these guys, it is so tight throughout the grid on the lap times these guys can produce. Any little advantage can be absolutely massive to find a way through, because they are so competitive. Right, we'll get back to the front. You can see Colin nearly alongside the Mercedes there. And the safety car is in this lap, so it will be over to Colin. And the question is, where will he back the field up and where will he go? Inorganic saying he spun doing 17 miles an hour, hit the wall and his tyre came off. Yeah, I've had that happen. It's the worst feeling ever, especially because it happens so slowly. The cars just seem to break so easy. But Colin now getting a lot of heat in the tyres. He's backed them up through as we go under the stand. When will he go? Will Robin get caught napping? We'll find out very shortly. He's leaving it late. Safety car is in the pit lane now, and he's gone. And an absolute textbook restart there, and he's already pulled out a little bit of a gap. He's protected himself just a little bit. There is something happening behind. It looks like Maggot's dropped back. I think he might have just spun coming out of the final, had a spin coming out of the final corner, and that's promoted the likes of Luke and Brandon up. And as you can see, we are so tight here. For the last few laps, 3 laps left. Everyone pretty much on the soft tyres, apart from Glassy, so he'll do well to defend that podium. We might see the other drivers break away from him a little bit. But also for Yeast and Quinn and Spider-Man, those penalties they picked up are going to be kind of the worst thing for their race. As we did also see Al, he managed to jump back in the pits. As we said, Al was coming round at a perfect time when the safety car came out, and it's getting very racy in the mid-pack. Volcano just getting dropped by Jetfish a little bit, but Glassy's also dropped Jetfish. Glassy absolutely doing brilliantly on those mediums. I thought he might struggle a bit more. And look how tight they are through here. You've got to be so careful. If someone has a little moment, you've got to be careful on the brakes. And it's tight all the way. We're racing right to the finish here. A lot could still change, or very much possible nothing at all, because they're all stuck in a train. Colin takes the fastest lap back from Robin on those soft tyres of 1:38.5. Absolutely flying. Al having a little look. Can't do anything there. DRS won't be enabled till next lap. So they will have no aid from DRS. It's all got to be under braking at the moment. As I think, could I see a move? It's the brothers. They're having a fight. And they are wheel to wheel. And look who's right behind them. It's Brandon. Luke takes the inside. Quinn's fighting it back. Quinn's keeping it in. He's got the inside line. Will he break? He does. They're leaving room. The brothers are fighting again, but here comes Brandon. Brandon up the inside. We've seen him for the second time tonight make an opportunistic move up through there. But Quinn is still having a little look. Oh, and Brandon having a bit of a moment there, drops back a little bit. But Luke, again, is so good at just getting through the field. We'll have a little look what's happening towards the front. Robin has been dropped. Glassy hanging on to Robin just about. Jetfish has caught back up a little bit. Volcano has been dropped, though. So, we got a race in the top 4. Well, I say that. In the top 3 after Colin. And then a little bit of a gap, and then another race kind of forming here. Yeast looked like he was struggling with traction a little bit there out of that corner. And the thing is, they'll be absolutely 100% there. You're looking at Al here. He's got barely any ERS left here. And Backer on 57% might look to take advantage of that. The guys in front also on more ERS. And Brandon and Luke very close again. We'll have a quick look at what's happening there. Because those guys in front, not quite close enough yet. Brandon a bit too far back. Luke also, this will be helping his team. If he can keep Brandon behind, he'll be doing a job for Colin here. But Brandon looking quite racy on these softs. Can he get a move done somewhere? He's going to have to wait. There's another DRS zone coming up very shortly. But we'll skip to Yeast, see if he can finally get past Volcano. This has been going on all race. We do have a yellow flag. Can't quite see what's happened. And Jetfish now within DRS of Glassy. Quinn has been overtaken by Spider-Man. Spider-Man coming good. We've seen this a few times at the end of a race from him. But currently, Yeast will lose out with that penalty. He will drop behind Al and Backer if things stay as they are with the gaps. But to be honest, it looks more likely Al on Yeast at the moment. He's a bit tighter in on that gap. Not quite seeing the overtakes we were hoping for so far, but Yeast gets a bit out of shape there. And Al will be much closer to him now. But Al didn't quite get to the apex, and he's dropped back a little bit. It's all getting a little bit messy. And Al completely out of ERS here as well. But they're all draining their ERS. Backer looks like he's going to be a little bit too far back, but he might settle for this. He'll be 8th on track and 7th when they cross the line because of Yeast penalty currently. Brandon past Luke, but they're side by side still. Brandon takes the inside line. Will Luke fight that back? I don't think he'll have the pace, no, and that's Brandon through. We'll follow them through for a bit longer, and then we'll try and catch what's going on up at the front. Yeah, Brandon just seems to have the grip on Luke at the moment. And I think he's safe there. Now let's have a look. Oh, Quinn is out. I'm not going to go have a look at that because it's getting very, very tight for the podium. Robin must have had a moment, or his tyres have had it, as he took too much life out of them again. Glassy, he's got 2 corners to see if he can steal second. It's probably going to be too much of an ask. Colin goes and takes the victory. Brilliant from Colin again. Here comes Glassy, too far back. Jetfish will follow him round. As then Volcano and Yeast, who could not be separated all late race. Backer and Owl get promoted because of Yeast's penalty. Brandon just misses out on that, but he comes home 9th. Luke 10th after a brilliant recovery drive. Draff and Maggot next across the line, followed by Draft's teammate Entity, who had a great start, but his parking, he has a moment at the end there, his parking and his 3-point turn cost him what could have been a much, much better result. Backer saying, yeah boy, I'll take 7th, absolutely. After last week as well, must be nice having more than 10 seconds of a race. Well, not quite the overtakes we're hoping to see under the safety car there, but a good race nevertheless. Another unbelievable drive from Colin. And speaking of devil, and there we see Colin collecting another first place. Another great drive, and he's got these street circuits absolutely nailed. Robin with a superb drive in second there. Looked like he was taking the life out of those tyres again. And Glassy, 3rd place on the medium, back-to-back podiums for the McLaren driver as he keeps finding that form and keeps it going. That little bit of luck is shining on him at the moment. Unfortunately, not for his teammate Brandon, who finished down in 9th, but a good recovery drive considering. We had Jetfish in 4th after a great start from 8th. The Volcano 5th and finished 5th, as well as Al making a good start up to 6th, and Backer 17th to 7th. It was a brilliant drive. Yi saying I was 12th on this. No, I see you as 8th. Brandon 9th. He'll be disappointed with that. Luke, who had a good qualifying, did a good recovery in the end. We got Maggot, Entity, Spider-Man, and I think that's all the finishers. Yeah, because Quinn DNF'd on the last lap, and Colin also taking fastest lap there. Yeast, you are 8th on my screen. You're not 12th. 12th is Maggot. I'm not sure what you're looking at here. But yeah, you had a 3-second penalty. Yeah, you're looking at quality results. Okay. Well, after that confusion, what a race. I'm sure Yeast, you're probably sick of the sight of Volcano, and him you couldn't be separated all race. Unreal. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm going to go grab myself a drink, and I hope you enjoyed your Thursday night. We're back next week, same time again for some more Premier Division, and we'll see what happens next time. Thanks for joining us again, and hope to see you